A big welcome to the South African Rotax Max Championships Round 1 here at Idube Raceway. It's the KwaZulu-Natal Kart Club, and we are looking forward to Round 1 here of this incredible South African Championship. Brad, we've kind of said welcome back to everybody that hasn't raced yet, but you've had a couple of races already in the bag, so you've kind of dusted off the lockdown, eh?
Yeah, I think luckily for me I've been involved in a few other series, obviously on the main circuit in cars and all of that, but yeah, first karting race back. Always nice to get back in the kart. I mean, it keeps you fit. It's a bit hard on your body sometimes, especially after this lockdown. Obviously I haven't been driving too much, but yeah, I've been privileged to be back at the track before, and yeah, like you say, shook off all the webs and everything, and we're ready to go again.
What did you do in lockdown to keep yourself and keep the eye in?
Obviously I think everybody in the first week, first 2-3 weeks of that hard lockdown, we were all just sim racing. But yeah, other than that, just kind of, you know, trying to stay fit almost.
Makes it difficult though in that lockdown period. I know a lot of guys were battling to train because there were no gyms, there's no place to go and do your normal running and your cycling. So how did you get through that?
Yeah, luckily for me, in the place that I stayed in, it was kind of like, you know, obviously until we were given clearance from the government to do what, you know, exercise outside of the house or whatever, in my area we were allowed to go, you know, train in the
enclosed area.
Yeah, in the enclosed area, the boomed off area, and yeah, I just went running and stuff like that, and yeah, carried on racing on the sim, playing games, and yeah, when kind of life came back to normal almost, you know, back at the workshop sorting out karts and everything like that, and yeah.
Plans for the season, because it's a slightly different format to the season. You can drop 4 rounds of the 14. Are you going to go to all 3 nationals?
We'll see. Obviously, if we don't have to travel, you know, to, I think it is Cape Town now, for the last round of the year, then hopefully we don't have to, because I think it will be a bit pricey with, you know, if we fly or whatever, and it's just not down the road. So yeah, hopefully we can just win as many races as we can, and you know, hopefully drop those 4, and yeah, we'll see how it goes, but you can never really say, and we'll see what happens.
So it's a good way to start the weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great way to start. Jeez, I'm happy.
To keep it there is not going to be easy though.
No, there's a good few drivers there, very good drivers that we're going to have to compete with. Yeah.
Who's your biggest competition going to come out of?
Oh, definitely Brad. Chris is always difficult. Sebastian's there. Yeah, there's a few. Top 5's going to be close. Yeah.
Championship wise, are you looking to go the whole season all the way through to the end and possibly to the Worlds at Portimao?
Definitely, that's the goal. That's what I want to do, and we're going to do our best and try our best for the year. Yeah.
Awesome. So as a 5-time world champion in this category, I kind of expected to see you back in DDM, but you've gone to DD2 to have a little bit of fun with the quick boys.
Yeah, I just thought I'd you know, just for the challenge of it, but don't have any big expectations or anything. I kind of not feeling very you know, up to my training, so it's all a little bit rushed, but so far it's not too bad. I got P3, so it's not too bad, but also not fantastic, but I'll just try my best tomorrow. Hopefully the fitness holds up.
A lot of guys are battling with fitness with the lockdown situation. What have you done in the lockdown to stay fit?
It's been pretty bad, really. I have gone running and things like that, but karting's got a very specific type of fitness you need. So, you know, things like your grip strength and your arms and all that is very hard to replicate. So, feeling it a little bit today, but I mean, it's enough to get out there and mix it up with the guys, so it's okay.
If you're feeling it today and you make your way up to Swartkops with 6 heats on the day, you're going to definitely feel it there, aren't you?
No, for sure. I mean, if I come back again properly, I'll have to train a lot more and get everything back to where it should be, because you know, it's all been a bit rushed with everything that's been going on in the last few months. But I mean, everyone's going to get back onto it properly soon.
You're looking forward to possibly going to Swartkops and maybe making it down to Cape Town?
Yeah, I mean, I heard the track's been changed, so I'm looking forward to seeing what they've done, because it was always really fun to drive. So now there's even a reverse loop and everything, so it's going to be really cool to drive something new.
And then, of course, making your way to Portimao, possibly.
I'm not actually sure yet. I mean, it's so early days, and I've been so out of it this year. It's literally my first time back, so I'll see how it goes. You know, it's kind of take a step at a time and do a race, do another race, and then see if we get into it. Then yeah. But for now, I haven't actually planned anything yet.
So for all those guys that are out there that are doing Portimao, that are worried about him, be afraid, because he hasn't made up his mind yet, which means he's definitely going to go. So possibility of a 6th World Championship. How's that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. I mean, I never even, like I always say, I'm just so grateful. I never even expected to win one. You know, I just wanted to go there and be there with the guys, with the South African team. It's like I always used to just dream about it. So just, it's amazing how it's gone down, and just very grateful to everyone, my team, everyone's helped me along the way.
There was a Dutchman van der Ende in Egypt who ran off the track 3-4 times on the last lap, and he still won the guy. But that was probably one of your most difficult titles.
Yeah, that was very, very tough. I mean, there's always really top drivers there, so that lap was really crazy. I just wanted to get a podium there, but then last lap I just had to go for it, because I knew the guys would never let me live it down if I just settled for a second or third. When you have that chance, you have to go for it. So it was kind of like all or nothing, and it paid off, thankfully.
We've kind of spoken to everybody about dusting off the cobwebs and stuff between now and lockdown, but didn't really phase you too much getting out there and straight back into the front end.
Yeah, we're lucky in Cape Town to be able to practice towards the end of lockdown. Could get a solid 100 laps a day or so. Yeah, just been putting in a lot of laps in Cape Town.
Cape Town's the final round of this championship, but you still got to get through to tomorrow. So there's a bit of competition there, and it's quite tight.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be tough with Brad and Morgado, but onward and upward, I guess.
Looking forward to your home round, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just see though with Joburg, because I got matric finals obviously, so got to try and work out there.
Got to juggle that around, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Fortunately though, the way this championship works for this year is you can drop 4 rounds, so you may still be able to get away with the sort of the 8 there, and maybe not scoring 2, you know, at Swartkops.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to try put a solid weekend in tomorrow, and then hopefully drop if we have to.
Cristiano Morgado in 3rd place behind Brad Liebenberg and Rob Whiting, the pole position and 2nd place men here for the first heat of DD2s. Coming across the line, staying in the tram lines, and it's Brad Liebenberg looking for the whole shot. He gets, followed very closely by Morgado. Morgado goes on the inside. Can he keep it all together through corkscrew? They're side by side. Him and Rob Whiting going out of Thunderdome. Oh, brilliant stuff, and Whiting hangs on. Rob Whiting just keeps out the 5-time world champion there, Cristiano Morgado. On their tail, 69, Sebastian Boyd, Jamie Smith in there as well. Good start from him. Jason could see dual duties for him this weekend too, as he comes down into the DD2 battle towards Funnel Corner. And into the Funnel Corner now, up over the top, and yet again back down towards SMD Hockey Stick. Brad Liebenberg trying to open up a margin from the word go and get away, because he knows that he's got some big contention and big competition coming from behind. Morgado always very good here on his home circuit, so he'll definitely be looking to just close things down. Watch how smooth he is. Absolutely butter smooth, Morgado. He won't push too hard just yet. He knows he's got 15 laps to try and get through. He's going to try and keep the defensive action happening both on the 6-9 cart there of Boyd and the 7-7 of Jason Kutsia as they come up over the top. Behind them, Jamie Smith and Nick Spanianis, and then Nico Safras and Devon Brock at the back. Back over the top into the second part of Pipeline, and the 3 and 4 battle starting to heat up now. As you see the 7-4 there of Rob Whiting trying to close the gap down, and you can see Bradley Liebenberg trying to open that gap up as far as he can. Bradley Liebenberg, of course, has won multiple karting championships, and one of them was in DD2, so he'll certainly be looking to do the same thing in 2020 with the shortened version of this championship. Can he keep it all together now at the front end? Morgado taking his last World Championship 2018 in Brazil, and now looking to possibly take on SA's finals. He hasn't quite decided whether or not he's going to go back to the World Finals in Portimao, where he also won a championship. He'll be looking for a chance now to stay ahead, first of all, of Rob Whiting. Whiting under pressure. Look at this. Morgado is applying the pressure, and Whiting can feel it. He can hear that engine absolutely thumping in his ears as they come down towards the SMD Hockey Stick. 2, 3, 4 battles starting to heat up here. Right on their tail, Morgado has got pressure from Sebastian Boyd, so Boyd now not too far off, and then a little small margin, about half a second there to Jason Kutsia. Morgado looks back, he knows he's got a gap now, and hands off the wheel, little shake of the wrist up the straight there, maybe starting to feel the effects of the grip and the forearm pump that can happen in karting. Second and third place is where the heat is at the moment, as Morgado tries to get that gap down between himself and Rob Whiting. Whiting just controlling things in that second place. He's not been able to bridge the gap to Brad. Brad has got an incredible turn of pace around here. Currently lapping in the 43.3s He did a 43 dead yesterday in qualifying, so he's in lap times that would get him onto the front end of qualifying. There you can see those kind of lap times. Whiting in second on 43.4s. 43.4s coming out of Magado, 43.4s out of Boyd, and 43.5s out of Jason Kutsia. It's Jamie Smith and Nick Spanianos, and then it's Nico Zapras and Devon Brock at the back end. Incredible to see that the lap times coming out of these drivers are only about a second apart from Brock at the back and Liebenberg at the front. Down onto the brakes again into SMD. And Magado has not found a way past just yet. Rob Whiting hanging on for that second place and hanging on for dear life. He knows just how much experience is behind him at this point in time. And he'll be very, very happy if he can keep that attack from coming through. Liebenberg now showing why he is a 4-time champion in this class. And he's trying to just ensure that he stays at the front end by the tune of 1.3 seconds now over Rob Whiting. Whiting's less than half a second now between himself and Magado. In fact, probably only 0.2 between them at this point. Doesn't have an answer yet to Rob Whiting as they start their final lap. Looking for an opportunity there or a possibility of a mistake coming out of Rob Whiting, but Whiting has soaked up that pressure from the multiple world champion on his tail. So it's 4-time DD2 champion out front, looking for his first victory of the day here, and a good start to a 2020 campaign for Brad Liebenberg. He, of course, has already had some race action this year, having piloted the Super Cup Polo in the Extreme Festival, in the Utinga Polo Cup, as well as in the South African Endurance Racing Series. So he's going to start his campaign here with a win in the Heat 1 of 2020's championship. He's a 4-time champion, and this is a good start to making his way for a 5th time of a DD2 championship. Rob Whiting in second, Magado in third, and Boyd comes through for 4th with Jason Kutsia. Of this incredible round one. And it's amazing to think round one is only taking place in August, but due to, of course, what we've been dealing with worldwide. Here we go. Liebenberg gets the drop. Magado side by side with him and just squeezing through there, Sebastian Boyd, but Boyd can't get ahead of Magado. Magado's now on Liebenberg. That's where he needs to be. That's where he would have loved to have been on the first start, but didn't quite get there. And as they finished up, it was Brad Liebenberg finished up by Rob Whiting and then Cristiano Magado. But Magado now up in the second place. That's possibly a position for him to start this one. And a big move on the inside. Magado hits the front. The local man hits the front, and the home track advantage there for Magado. Liebenberg coming back around the outside. Oh, here we go. 4-time Masters World Champion, 4-time SA Champion going at it. And Liebenberg slides in. Oh, this is good stuff. What a way to start the second heat here. This is the way we want to go for DD2s. Magado and Liebenberg going at it, and it's all no holds barred. And the guns are blazing coming into the second heat. So Liebenberg and Magado going at it properly, and it slowed them up ever so slightly to allow Whiting and Boyd another sniff at the front. Here comes Magado. He had a big look going up to the top of pipeline, didn't quite get up the inside, but now he goes defensive on Rob Whiting. Liebenberg on his defensive as well from Whiting, but no, opens up the door and diving through there, Sebastian Boyd to third. So Sebastian Boyd up to third place now. Right behind him, it is Rob Whiting. And then Jason Kutsia. Look out for Jamie Smith coming through there as well as Jamie Smith closes things down, looks for a chance to go on the inside of Kutsia as they come down into hockey stick for the second time. Another lap completed. Oh, what a start to this one. Whiting, Boyd, side by side, and eventually Whiting gets through on Boyd. Boyd opens up the door. Whiting takes advantage and moves up to third place, but it's Boyd in 4. 5 is Kutsia. Jamie Smith behind that as the top two go at it. Once again, it's 17 and 12, and oh, Magado shows Brad Liebenberg the way to the top of the hill. Up over pipeline, and it's a 4-time Masters and 1-time World Champion. So 5 World Championships at the front. Multiple SA Championships in his own right as well, but take into account you've got a 4-time SA DD2 champion fighting it out with a 4-time Masters World Champion. Absolutely brilliant stuff here. Liebenberg versus Magado. Cristiano must be enjoying this one. Brad Liebenberg all over the back end of him. Jamie Smith now getting ahead there of Jason Kutsia. And just behind that, it's Spanianos and Zafras. Up to the top of the hill they come. into the right-hander that takes them up over pipeline, and Boyd is closer. Boyd could possibly have a go here down into the funnel corner. No. Yeah, he does. There you go. Late braking from Sebastian Boyd, diving through. I didn't think he was going to have a go from back there, but he came from nowhere and slides up the inside of Rob Whiting in the Intrepid. So Sebastian Boyd just making his way up into what is now third place and looks to go and try and close down on Brad Liebenberg, who sits in second. Sebastian Boyd timing that to perfection. It was a very late braking maneuver from Sebastian Boyd, but he made it stick. And there was no answer from Rob Whiting, but Whiting is not keeping him any closer than what he has to. Whiting will definitely be looking for a chance if he can find a way through to get up to the top end. Here we go, to the top of the hill again and up over pipeline. Just in the background, keep an eye on Jamie Smith as well, as Smith starts to close that gap down and look for a chance of a podium. Cristiano Morgado opening up a margin, a comfortable 1.5 or 1.0 seconds, 1.036 seconds over Brad Liebenberg. Sebastian Boyd, absolutely nothing in it. How's that? Boyd on the last pass, 0.03 of a second ahead of Rob Whiting. It's probably going to be even closer this time out as well. Closes through there, Boyd. It's 0.3 now, so it's slightly less of a gap. But I can tell you there is going to be some fun and games there between Rob Whiting and Sebastian Boyd. That's not done yet, and don't take out of the equation, just in the background, in the third of the Burrell machines there, Jamie Smith. Sebastian Boyd in third. There you can see the gap there. That is second, third, fourth, and just behind them, fifth place there. Boyd closing down on Brad Liebenberg. Oh, and he's going to go. He has a big look on the inside. Sebastian Boyd is through. Brad Liebenberg comes back at him, and here comes Rob Whiting for a look as well. Whiting had a big look on the inside of Sebastian Boyd. Oh, Brad Liebenberg's in trouble. Liebenberg is in trouble here for the second heat. He is now under massive threat. This is not what we saw in the first heat. Liebenberg was able to get away and was not troubled whatsoever in the first heat. This time out, though, he is being troubled big time by a fellow Burrell in the hands of Sebastian Boyd, and coming up in the Intrepid, Rob Whiting. It's a three-way Burrell battle there, with Whiting the only Intrepid cart in the battle for second place on track as they come back up over pipeline. Cristiano Morgado is just checking out at the front end. Liebenberg goes defensive, knows exactly where to place that cart so that no one can get past him up the hill. Boyd looking for a chance now to get through. Sebastian realizes if he gets ahead of Brad Liebenberg, he can maybe open up a little bit of advantage and get away from Rob Whiting and Jamie Smith, who's coming along for the ride. Behind that, Jason Kutsia fighting with Spinianos. It's a lovely little fight here for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Second place at this stage is Brad Liebenberg, but he's only 0.3 of a second ahead of Sebastian Boyd, and Boyd looking for a chance now. Sebastian Boyd runs a slightly different line. Oh, it might have been a little bit of touch there between the two of them. Heading towards pipeline. Morgado pulling away now to the tune of about 4.5 seconds. Oh! Big move there from Sebastian Boyd, trying to find a way past. And Boyd, he gets completely out of shape, launches over Brad Liebenberg in his attempt to get past. Liebenberg very lucky to survive that one. But it's given an opportunity there, I think, to Rob Whiting. Yeah, Rob Whiting now moves up to second. Whiting to second, Jamie Smith to third, Liebenberg down to fourth place after that little touch. This is right there. Nicholas Spanios on the back end now of Jason Kutsia. Both of them can see Brad Liebenberg out front, and Brad has just turned the wick up with a lap to go. So Brad is going to just hang on for that fourth place. He's not going to give Kutsia or Spanios a chance to have a go at him. Leader is clean and clear. 5.5 seconds up the road. Cristiano Morgado has not been troubled since he hit the front, and showing what 5-time World Championship experience can do for you. He knows when he gets to the front of this race, there's no one going to get even close to him. Morgado heading down towards hockey stick for the final time. And checkered flag is on standby. Cristiano takes the win. Easily done by 5.5 seconds, probably about 6 seconds there. Rob Whiting taking 2 second places. That's consistency from him. Jamie Smith comes through for third place, beating out Brad Liebenberg. And Brad Liebenberg, he'll be a little bit concerned about that, that's for sure. Then it was Jason Kutsia who comes through for fifth place, and Sebastian Boyd down there in seventh place. A bit disappointing, but he will definitely be looking to close things down in the next one. 9 carts about to go to battle once again for DD2s. So far, Brad has taken a victory, so has Cristiano. Brad Liebenberg had a big coming together with Sebastian Boyd in race number 2. And this time he goes onto the back end of Sebastian Boyd. So it's Cristiano Magado leading Rob Whiting down into Corkscrew with Sebastian Boyd and Brad Liebenberg 3 and 4. Behind that, Rob Whiting lines up. In fact, not Rob Whiting, I beg your pardon. Jamie Smith in 5th place. And then just behind that, it's Spanios with Jason Kutsia. They go over the pipeline for the first time and down onto the braking point, and there's a move. Great late braking from Sebastian Boyd up into 2nd place. Rob Whiting demoted down into 3rd, into the clutches of Brad Liebenberg. And then Jamie Smith, his stablemate, right on his tail. Big left hand at the bottom of the circuit, and of course in to start the first lap and anger, it's Cristiano Magado. Sheesh. Already pulling a decent enough margin of nearly a second on that first lap away from Sebastian Boyd, who's up in 2nd place. Whiting in 3rd now. Has that changed up? I think Whiting's got back ahead. Yes, he has. Whiting ahead now, Sebastian Boyd. Boyd now in 3rd place with Brad Liebenberg on his tail. Down onto the braking point again for final corner. 6 carts. 6 carts fighting for 2nd. Whiting, Boyd, Liebenberg, Smith, Kutsia, and Spanios. So across the line, it's a move from Brad Liebenberg on Sebastian Boyd. Boyd comes back at him, but Liebenberg will have the inside line for Corkscrew and makes it stick. Liebenberg dives on the inside and up into 3rd place ahead of Sebastian Boyd. So now he'll try and get his head down and get away. Try and close down a Rob Whiting, get through on the Intrepid, and then hunt down the man out front. Some great action between himself and Cristiano Magado. Brad Liebenberg I'm talking about, and Cristiano Magado in the start of race number 2. And looks back to see Sebastian Boyd, protagonist from Heat 2 after they had a big crash, the two of them. Boyd eventually finished down in 7th place. Brad did recover to the top 5 in 4th. But there was a little bit of rubber on the helmet and across the top of his overall as well after that incident between himself and Sebastian Boyd. So Magado absolutely flying out front though. Whiting in 2nd. Liebenberg just hanging on for 3rd place with Sebastian Boyd behind him. 2, 3, 4, very close. 5, 6, and 7 also just as close. Smith, Kutsia, and Spanios having a great battle just behind this one. But we're concentrating on this one because we're coming to the closing stages. And are we going to see Brad Liebenberg have a go here at Rob Whiting in the last couple of laps? Magado now with 1.6 seconds up the road. Here comes Boyd. Oh, and Boyd moves out. Brad Liebenberg moves out the way and gets Boyd through. Literally let him through there. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. Looks like Brad's got a bit of an issue out there. Not quite sure what it is, but he's maybe feeling the blow that happened between himself and Boyd in the first heat. But he's dropped back now and let Boyd through. So Boyd now up into 3rd place. Brad Liebenberg down to 4th. And he's going to try and hang on, possibly for a 4th place here with 3 laps to go. Very, very close stuff here between them, but I thought they was going to try and hang on. Whiting, Boyd, and Liebenberg. Last lap has started. It's Boyd who's going to try and close Whiting down. I don't think there's enough time though. Sebastian Boyd, we've seen him come from a long way back for late outbreaking maneuvers. But Rob Whiting will be a difficult man to pass considering the fact that he's going for 3 second places out of 3 starts so far today. So it's Cristiano Magado for the 2nd victory of the day in Heat 3. And into second place again. Rob Whiting takes the second place. And it's Sebastian Boyd. Brad comes through for fourth place. He won't be happy about that, but he will settle for whatever he can. I think he's starting to feel the effects there. And he comes through for a fifth, is Jamie Smith. It's a confirmation of the unofficial results as Magado rolls into pit lane. It's Cristiano Magado who takes the win from Rob Whiting, and Sebastian Boyd in third. Liebenberg for fourth, Jamie Smith in fifth, ahead of Jason Kutsia and Nicholas Spanios. Nico Zafaris in eighth place, beating out Devan Bruck, who crosses the line now and finishes up our third heat of DD2s. Let's see who's going to have what it takes to take the final victory. We're going to see 3 wins out of Cristiano Magado. If he's on the inside line, he's going to be a difficult man to beat, and Brad Liebenberg goes with him into second place. Liebenberg going through there ahead of Boyd. He's up to second, and that's exactly where Brad wants to be. Right on the tailpiece of Cristiano Magado. Not going to let him get away this time. Sebastian Boyd getting a little bit squirrely coming out of Thunderdome. And now onto the back end of his Burrell stablemate. And in the second there, you can see it's Rob Whiting ahead of Jason Kutsia. Absolutely amazing stuff as they come out of this first lap. Cristiano Magado leading things out and trying to stay ahead of Brad Liebenberg in second. Liebenberg putting the pressure on down towards Hockey Stick. He's going to have a go here. Very close with Cristiano Magado, carrying good corner speed and maintaining that corner speed through, but smooth style from Magado. You can see just how good these two are. 4-time SA champion in second, 5-time world champion in front. And you can see Cristiano Magado just hanging on for dear life there with Brad Liebenberg on his tail. Third place, it's Boyd. Fastest man on that first pass was Brad Liebenberg. Rob Whiting there in fourth, ahead of Kutsia and Jamie Smith. Down onto the breakers and into a great bit of maneuvering happening at the front end here, but Cristiano Magado looking for the overall victory with a third victory possibly on the cards here. First 4 getting away. Sebastian Boyd and Rob Whiting right in the mix. Brad Liebenberg for the lead. He gets up the front and goes through on Magado. So it's no longer in numerical order. 12 leads 11. As they go down into turn 3 and 4, the big right-hander at the bottom end of the circuit, Brad Liebenberg now leads out. So it's Liebenberg from Magado. Boyd and Whiting. Over the top comes Jason Kutsia. Absolutely brilliant stuff. See just how hard these guys are having to push as hard as they can and trying to keep it all together now as they come over the top of pipeline and reverse pipeline down towards Hockey Stick. It's Liebenberg leading things out over Magado. Magado on his tail with Boyd in close attendance and bringing along Rob Whiting for the party. 4-way at the front here, and any one of these 4 can take a victory. At the moment, we've had Brad with 1, Cristiano with 2. Brad would like 2 from 2 and go into possibly the first, or out of the first round of this championship with almost even Stephen points and Cristiano Magado. Let's have a look at how they finished up in other heats, of course, but 2 for 2 would be not a bad start from the two of them. Magado putting the pressure on to Brad Liebenberg. Brad soaking it up for now, but here comes Boyd, and look at that. Possible change up as well between Boyd and Whiting, as Whiting is right there as well. Burrell ART versus Magado versus the Burrell ART versus the Intrepid. Heading across the line and completing another lap. We've got 11 to go. Brilliant, brilliant action here from the first 4. A little bit of a gap down to 5th place. That's Jason Kutsia on his own. Spanios has not been able to run there with Kutsia. Kutsia is actually all on his own. Some very lonely race in 5th place for him. Nicholas and Nico for 6 and 7, and Jamie Smith in 8th, and he's dropped back out of contention. Unfortunately, looks like there's a bit of a problem there on the third Burrell. But first 4, so evenly matched. Brilliant race action here from our first 4 drivers. Looks like Rob Whiting might be just losing a little bit of ground there. He's lost about 2 or 3 kart lengths to the back end of Sebastian Boyd, and Boyd now looking for a way through on Cristiano Magado. Very tight stuff between these guys, as it has been all day long. Cristiano Magado got away in the second and third heats, but the battle for second, third, and fourth continued all the way through. We had a big incident in heat number 2, remember, between Boyd and Brad Liebenberg. And Brad at the moment looking so good for a potential win. Maintaining good pace as well. 44-1, 44-2, 44-2, 44-5. out of the first 4 carts on track. So 44 ones from Brad Liebenberg maintains his lead and now pulls a little bit of a margin over Cristiano Magado. So Magado right in the mix there. Big time here with Brad Liebenberg. Boyd actually looking for a chance now around on Magado. Heading into about 8.5 laps to go. Portimao has been very generous to Cristiano Magado, not so much to Brad Liebenberg, but one of his world titles in the Masters category was won at that circuit, so Cristiano Magado will definitely know what to do at that circuit if he wants to possibly run in DD2 as SA's representative. But he will have to compete at Zwartkops and at Cape Town, the Kalani International Raceway, for the final round, or even look for a seat at the Africa Open, which is still going to be sorted as well. Oh, Sebastian Boyd makes a mistake. Sebastian Boyd makes a mistake down in Thunderdome, and that is going to be a costly mistake there for Boyd. Got out of shape, and Boyd has gone down and out. So Sebastian Boyd crashing out at Thunderdome, and that's going to leave Cristiano Magado now a chance to go at it. He doesn't have to worry about the cart behind him. And they've got 2 laps to go when they cross the line. And he's starting to close on Brad Liebenberg. There we go, 2 to go. And Boyd's gone. Look at the disappointment there, kicking the sand. Sebastian Boyd is not happy about what's gone down there, and unfortunately he's made a mistake all on his own sim. So it's now Magado. He's taken about a tenth or so from Brad Liebenberg on that last pass. It's only half a second between them with a lap and a half to go. Liebenberg will be well aware of the charge coming from Magado. He's not going to give it up without a fight. Heading down towards hockey stick for the penultimate time. Into the SMD sponsored corner. And through the double left into the right flick. Last lap starts. Final bit of action now. Final race lap from round 1 of the South African Rotax Max Championship here at Idube. And it's Cristiano Magado, 5-time world champion, looking to close down on the 4-time SA champion. And that's Brad Liebenberg in the DD2s. What a finish to this race day. 12 and 11, running in reverse numerical order. Exactly what Brad Liebenberg wanted, a turnaround at the end of the day, and sharing the victories with himself and Cristiano Magado. 2 wins out of Cristiano, 2 wins out of Brad. It's probably going to see Cristiano lead the championship, but Brad Liebenberg won't be too far behind and brings it to the line. Brad Liebenberg takes the win. Cristiano Magado comes through for 2nd place. 3rd place is going to be Rob Whiting. Wow, what an incredible day for Rob Whiting. Definitely in contention for the overall as well. 4th place will be Jason Kutsia. And finishing up in 5th will be Nico Spanios. Best finish for him for the day. Confirmation of the unofficial results there. Liebenberg from Magado. It's Rob Whiting from Jason Kutsia and Nicholas Spanios ahead of Jamie Smith, Nico Zafris and Devon Bruck. Sebastian Boyd, unfortunately, with a problem right in the closing stages there and a mistake in the Thunderdome, crashing him out into the wall in Thunderdome. So that's how it finishes up here for round 1 of the Rotax Max South African Championship here at Idube.
Let's try and see what's going to happen as weekend goes. How did the weekend go?
Thankfully it went well, so the team did a great job. The cart was good, so thank you to everyone that helped me this week, and turned out quite nice in the end.
Was the overall win on the cards this morning when you sort of lined up on the first race?
No, not really. I mean, the whole time I just doing the race just for fun, and it was a difficult first heat, but then the 2nd and 3rd went really well, and then brought it home in the end, so it worked out.
That last heat, it looked at some stage, you let Brad go. We all know, and I can say that from all the events I've seen you at, all the World Finals, you always at your strongest in those last 4 or 5 laps. Did you have a pace to get to him?
No.
1 or 2 tenths off him, but you just didn't get there.
He was driving really well. It was tough to make any ground up, but there were times where I caught him a little bit, but then, it just would have been too much of a risk. I would have had to risk going off or something, because I was pretty close to the max pace I could do. So it was fine to just bring it back with a finish off for the 2nd. It was enough for the day.
After today, are you re-looking plans for the season?
Obviously, we want to win as many championships as we can, so we'll obviously reevaluate. Not really the best weekends. We had a few issues in race 2 and 3. But yeah, it was kind of those gremlins across the entire weekend. But we managed to kind of sort it out for the last race. It was still kind of there, but not as bad as what race 2 and 3 were. But yeah, we'll see how the rest of the year goes and see what happens. Got a lot of racing coming up with obviously still the Rock Series and then my own main circuit campaign in Polo Super Cup. So we'll see how it goes.
But there's not such a thing as too much racing, is there?
I guess you could say that, but I'm getting a bit old now. The body's taking some strain.
Talk to me about your day. It started all great yesterday for you, and you thought, okay, it's going to be nice. But did it meet expectation?
Yes, I was happy. Finishing second 3 times in a row. A little bit lucky, but just keeping my head cool and not getting in any nonsense kind of thing. But a little bit of...
Because it got physical a couple of laps on a couple of, more than one of the races, it got quite physical.
It did, yeah. There was a few argy-bargies with some guys and trying to get track position, so it was interesting. No.
Looking forward to the next round after this?
Definitely. Still some practicing to do. Need to find a little bit of speed to catch up.
Because obviously now with having where you're able to drop 4 complete heats, if you get it all right at Swartkops, then you don't have to go to Cape Town.
Yeah, no, I'm pleased with what I got today because every heat was good points, so I'm happy with the points I got. It's going to help in the national and every round forward.